If you want to know the outcome of a game before the game has even started, you need to control each side. David Icke. Freemasons, Rosicrucians, Knights Templar, Skull and Bones, Order of the Golden Dawn, the Priory of Sion, all secret societies and brotherhoods that are shrouded in mystery and shadow. But throughout the ages, whispers of a hidden elite manipulating global affairs have intrigued those who dare to question the established narratives. This elite is called the Illuminati. But who are they? We will try to find out together in the episode of Secret Origins. Welcome. With mysterious rituals, symbols, and alleged connections to hidden knowledge and shape-shifting reptilian beings, the Illuminati are speculated to have a leading role in navigating the course of history and the fate of humanity. Are the Illuminati really the puppet masters behind global events? What hidden agendas do they pursue, and how deep does their influence really go? Conspiracy theories claim that the Illuminati is a clandestine organization composed of influential figures who manipulate world events from behind the scenes. This web of power is believed to extend its reach into various aspects of society, shaping the destiny of nations and individuals alike. Allegedly, this select group possesses esoteric knowledge, allowing them to wield power beyond the comprehension of ordinary individuals. The name Illuminati is derived from the Latin word illuminatus, which means enlightened or illuminated.
Their name means the enlightened ones. They were physicists and mathematicians, astronomers. They were concerned with the church's inaccurate teaching, and they were dedicated to scientific truth. But the Vatican didn't like that.
The term was initially used in reference to various historical groups, including the Bavarian Illuminati, founded in 1776 in Bavaria by Adam Weishaupt, a professor of law and philosophy. Initially, the Illuminati was an organization that aimed to promote Enlightenment ideals and intellectual discourse during the Age of Enlightenment, and to challenge the existing power structures. They sought to challenge the influence of religious and political authorities, advocating for rational thought, freedom of expression, and social progress. Just as the society's name reflected their goal of illuminating or enlightening individuals with knowledge and reason. According to the publicly available information, the Illuminati, along with Freemasonry and other secret societies, were outlawed through edict by Charles Theodore, Elector of Bavaria, with the encouragement of the Catholic Church in 1784, 1785, 1787, and 1790. During subsequent years, the group was generally vilified by conservative and religious critics who claimed that the Illuminati continued underground and were responsible for the French Revolution. According to some conspiracy theories, however, the Illuminati is an order led by 13 families, each representing one of the 13 bloodlines that are descended from extraterrestrial beings that have been carefully selected and bred to preserve their pure genetic heritage. They possess and preserve a special method for prolonging life, as well as many other secrets. Together, they hold knowledge far beyond all known rituals and programs and have the ability to directly share this knowledge within their community. The progenitors collectively control the entire secret and public economy, the military, political systems, the global space program, secret services, and so on, in every country on the planet. However, the power and control do not belong to them, but to an intelligent extraterrestrial race known as the Draconians. Over 13,000 years ago, they initiated a plan with the Illuminati as their chess pieces. We're now in the endgame, where the Draconians control the progenitors, who in turn oversee the other Illuminati members. It is important to note that the Illuminati, whom we are discussing, are not random individuals. They are the wealthiest and most influential people on this planet. The Illuminati do not appear on television or in mainstream media because they control not only the mass media, but also all key information channels. In the rare event that something is heard about them, it will either be neutral or portrayed positively. And here's what David Rockefeller says in relation to that. We are grateful to the Washington Post, the New York Times, Time magazine, and other great publications whose directors have attended our meetings and respected their promises of discretion for almost 40 years. It would have been impossible for us to develop our plan for the world if we had been subjected to the lights of publicity during those years. But the world is more sophisticated and prepared to march towards a world government. The supranational sovereignty of an intellectual elite and world bankers is surely preferable to the national autodetermination practiced in past centuries. David Rockefeller. But where did the real Illuminati originate from? Are they descendants of ancient civilizations, or do they have ties to extraterrestrial reptilian beings as many theories suggest? What is the truth behind their supposed ancient origins and the secrets they hold? To trace the origin of the Illuminati, we'll go back to pre-Sumerian times, when the Anunnaki, the sky gods, were walking and ruling on Earth. As far as it is known, the Illuminati movement began around 300,000 BC when a group of people, now known as the Illuminati, infiltrated the Brotherhood of the Snake in Mesopotamia and used it for their malevolent purposes. According to conspiracy theories, the Brotherhood of the Snake, also known as the Brotherhood of the Serpent, is an ancient and secretive organization with roots dating back hundreds of thousands of years. The group is believed to have been founded by the Anunnaki, an extraterrestrial race of reptilian beings often mentioned in ancient Sumerian texts. Theories surrounding the Brotherhood of the Snake suggest that they have played a crucial role in shaping human history by manipulating and controlling powerful institutions, governments, and religious organizations. The Brotherhood is thought to be the precursor to many modern secret societies, including the Illuminati, the Freemasons, and the Rosicrucians. The Brotherhood of the Snake is often associated with the worship of serpent deities, which can be found in various ancient cultures, such as the Egyptian god Sobek, the Mayan deity Kukulkan, and the Hindu god Shiva, who is often depicted with a serpent around his neck. Conspiracy theorists argue that these serpent deities are symbolic of the reptilian extraterrestrial race that founded the Brotherhood and continue to exert control over humanity. Supporters of this theory believe that the Brotherhood of the Snake's ultimate goal is to maintain the reptilian elite's grip on power and to advance their agenda of global domination. To achieve these aims, the Brotherhood is set to use its influence to control political, financial, and religious systems, as well as to suppress any knowledge or technologies that could empower humanity and threaten their control. In the 14th century, the great initiates of the Brotherhood of the Snake and their knowledge emerged for the first time in the world, known by the Latin name Illuminati. The ancient Hebrew word for snake, Nahash, comes from the root NHSH, meaning to decipher, to understand. Latin illuminare means to enlighten, to know, to understand. One of the most significant branches of the Illuminati in Germany is the mystical Rosicrucians, introduced by Charlemagne in the early 9th century. The daring Rosicrucians claim to possess knowledge of the extraterrestrial origins of humanity and to be acquainted with Egyptian secret teachings. Throughout the years, the Rosicrucians have been quite difficult to trace due to the fact that after their creation, every major branch of the Brotherhood operates publicly for 108 years and then covertly for another 108 years. These alternating phases create the impression that the order has dissolved, which further facilitated its actions. The Illuminati do not belong to any religion, party, nation, or other formations. They use them as their outer garment. Their game began millennia before the individuals described in the book, and it will not end with them, because even those we consider Satanists or Zionists today are nothing more than pieces in a game with much, much higher stakes. Jan von Helsing. Secret societies and their power in the 20th century. Have you wondered why humans repeatedly engage in wars against each other? In the last 5,600 years, there have been around 14,500 wars, leading to a staggering 3.5 billion casualties. That is almost half of the current global population. So, what is the purpose of war among humans? For ages, the subject of war has fascinated not just peace organizations, but also thinkers. They argue that all living beings engage in battles for resources and territory. Nevertheless, it's not a given that the aggressive tendencies observed in animals can be directly applied to humans, especially when considering the unique traits of human nature, such as intelligence, consciousness, and morality. The difference between two predators fighting over prey and wealthy arms dealers profiting from ongoing conflicts is self-evident. Ancient Rome demonstrated how the struggle for survival could also function as amusement. With the concept of bread and circuses, gladiators were made to combat one another to entertain the public and distract them from their own powerlessness. Today, a similar approach is utilized through television, video games, and sports, offering a respite for contented citizens from the harsh realities of their lives. What is the media diverting our attention from? What knowledge could we potentially gain if we weren't constantly inundated with information? It's evident that in any conflict, a third party often reaps the benefits. The adage, "When two people fight, the third one wins," is well known. Applying this to any nation or even our entire world reveals the truth in the statement. Therefore, if the Illuminati desire global dominance, the method is to create as many conflicts as possible, confusing people in a web of misinformation and never allowing them to understand who the real instigators are. Create the problem, encourage the reaction. Something must be done. And then offer the solution. It is summed up by the Freemason motto Ordo ab Chaos, order out of chaos. Create chaos, and then offer the way to restore order. Your order. The masses are herded and directed by many in various forms of emotional and mental control. It is the only way it could be done. David Icke. How are the Illuminati structured? The structure of the Illuminati, as described in conspiracy theories, is often represented as a hierarchical pyramid with various layers of power and control. At the top of the pyramid is the alleged supreme leader, sometimes referred to as Pindar, who governs the entire organization. Who is Pindar? According to some theories, Pindar is believed to be the highest-ranking member of the Illuminati or the leader of the reptilian beings that supposedly control the world. Pindar is sometimes referred to as the Marquis du Liban, or the pinnacle of the Draco. The leader of the Illuminati is a male member of one of the 13 ruling families and represents the top of power and control and reports to the purebred reptilian leader in the inner earth. However, others believe Pindar himself is a shape-shifting reptilian who has been able to maintain secrecy by disguising himself as a human. It is also speculated that the current Pindar is the head of the Rothschilds family based in Germany. The conspiracy theories surrounding the Illuminati often mention a number of powerful families who are supposedly part of the organization's inner circle. They're known as the 13 ruling families of the Illuminati. While there is variation in the specific families named as part of the 13, some of the more commonly mentioned families include the Astors, the Bundys, the Collins, the DuPonts, the Freemans, the Kennedys, the Lees, the Onassis, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Russells, the Van Dynes, the Merovingians. These 13 ruling families of the Illuminati each have a specific function to fulfill on Earth, including global finances, military technology, mind control, religion, and media. The Illuminati believe in the power of 13 as a mystical or symbolic number. In fact, the number 13 holds significant meaning in many occult and esoteric practices. It is often associated with mystery, magic, and transformation, as well as death and rebirth. In numerology, 13 is considered a sacred number and is associated with the divine feminine, as there are 13 lunar cycles in a year. In some traditions, 13 is also associated with a snake, which sheds its skin and is seen as a symbol of renewal and transformation. In tarot, the 13th card is death, the end of one phase and the beginning of another. The Illuminati also believe that there are 13 zodiac signs, with the 13th sign being that of the dragon, which has been hidden for centuries to avoid revealing clues about the reptilian mind pattern. Following the 13 ruling families are the second-in-command families, known as the Committee of 300. The Committee of 300 provides support work for the Pindar and the 13 ruling families. While most theories suggest that all 13 ruling family members are shapeshifters, the 300 supporting families are not, but all have a high percentage of reptilian DNA. The Committee of 300 uses well-known institutions like the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderbergers, the Trilateral Commission, Club of Rome, Royal Institute for International Affairs, Mafia, CIA, NSA, Mossad, Secret Service, International Monetary Fund, Federal Reserve, Internal Revenue Service, and Interpol, among others, to achieve their objectives. These organizations or corporations are set up as public service devices, but this is far from the truth. Some believe that it is the Illuminati who have also created artificial countries such as the United States, Switzerland, Kuwait, and Israel to amass wealth and create unstable conditions necessary to start wars or increase military budgets. For example, Switzerland was specifically created as a neutral banking center to keep Illuminati funds safe from wars and prying eyes. Now, if we look closer at the US, we'll find out that the 13 founding states of the United States were the 13 colonies, each believed to represent one of the Illuminati families. The original US flag featured 13 stars and still bears 13 stripes, while the eagle, the national symbol, holds 13 arrows in its talons. Interestingly, the United States is considered to be a corporate asset of the Virginia Company, which originated in England in 1604 with the direct participation of the Rothschilds. The exploration and exploitation of the North American continent were only made possible through the Rothschilds' financial backing. John Dodd, a former member of the Council of 13, describes the pyramid of the Illuminati as follows. The seal was introduced at the instance of the Rothschilds family from London. It is a Luciferian organization, and the Rothschilds are the head of this organization. In it, one can encounter Freemasons, communists, and other members of other organizations. It is widely spread. The focus is on politics and finance, with the idea of a unified world government being professed. This society will do everything to achieve global domination, even including a third world war in its plans. It calls itself the Illuminati. The word means bearers of light. So, what is the ultimate goal of the Illuminati? How do they plan to achieve it? What are some of their symbols, and how exactly do they manipulate us to follow their plan? We'll find answers to all these questions in Part 2. We bow before you and thank you for watching another episode of Secret Origins. Keep your minds open, and until we meet again.